Hi guys, welcome back to the Owl House podcast.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here as well. This week we had an episode heavily featuring our favourite character, King.
Did it? I don't think anybody voted him favorite on.
No, but I think he did win like worst character from a couple people. Right?
I was joking. We voted him. He won worst character for quite or least favourite character out of the main cast. We did not like him.
Well, we didn't like. We don't like the way that he's kind of set up to be like this joke character who would be like very mean all the time and stuff, and like try to be a big guy when he isn't. But most of the time they use him for emotional stuff, and we just find that really weird. Like he's always having like
and
edgy teen moments when it seems like his character really shouldn't be like that.
And in this episode, there was a lot of that. There was the childish. There was that weird juxtaposition of child king, baby king, delusional baby king who thinks he's a king and who throws toys at people and who acts like a small child, and edgy teen king who takes his problems incredibly seriously and had that incredibly dramatic moment after he found out he wasn't the king of anything and that we were supposed to take incredibly seriously. And it's those moments that I just cannot gel with whatsoever. You can't have him both be treated like a child and be an incredibly serious character. It's not. They haven't set him up for that to be a thing that works well. It just works really badly in this series for some reason. So that's my thoughts on him. But how did this episode impact your feelings on King?
I don't know really if it changed how I feel about him. I really love the lore that was on display here. Like this was a very cool reveal episode. I do just think kind of King's reactions and stuff they didn't get the reaction out of me that they were trying to. Like they were trying really, really hard to be like, you will cry because King is sad. You will be sad because Ida and Luz are sad because King is sad. Like I didn't feel.
Yeah, but it was completely unearned.
Yeah, I didn't feel that at all. I just kind of was a gasp to how cool the setting was and that monster and all the sort of very perfectly vague backstory we got here, I would say.
Yeah, I do feel that the emotional beats didn't quite connect with me, but the lore is cool, and King being just last week, right? We were talking about, or maybe it was off the podcast. I don't remember. But we were talking recently about like whether or not King having a secret backstory would come into play at some point, and so now it seems like that's happening. Now it seems like there's going to be a subplot about King's dad, King.
The real King.
Yeah.
King's dad, bigger King.
And a secret island. And apparently Ida, 8 years ago, Ida was trying to find some place to hide from the Emperor, so I guess that means she probably didn't have the Owl House at that point, which is... No, because she brought King straight back to the house. So, actually, what was up with that?
Yeah, what is going on? I mean, why was she hiding from the Emperor if she lived in the Owl House? And why is she not currently hiding from the Emperor? Like, what is the difference between Luz 8 years ago? No, not Luz. Ida 8 years ago and Ida now. So, that is something that they probably didn't put much thought into. They probably just went, we want a reason for Ida to be on this island and that's it.
Or something we'll learn. I don't know.
I mean, hopefully, but for some reason, I don't think.
Because she's like still wanted though. They just kind of never.
Yeah, I mean, in the first episode of the season, they're like,
exactly.
What did they say? I forget why. They're just like, who cares anymore? You're not powerful.
Yeah, They did literally say that for the season, correct?
Like, if she needed somewhere to hide from the Emperor, why was she able to bring King home with her?
Well, I think maybe there could have been a gap there. Maybe she did find King before she had the house, and then I don't know.
Maybe it was after.
Like we didn't see a single flashback. It was like different moments. So I don't know. It could have been that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Oh, by the way, Baby King was absolutely adorable. Yes. Like, so cute.
Yeah, although it's weird that is his skull actually part of his head? I guess it is, because he was hashed out of his egg with it.
True, yeah. I didn't even realize that aspect of it. Yeah, I guess it is.
Cubone.
It's his dad's skull that somehow went inside the egg.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and oh my god. I hope the Big King is just like a big cat. Like a big fluffy cat.
Yes, it is all very mysterious, this island that no one knows about and someone's gone missing. Like, I don't know. I wonder how that could possibly be related to all the other plot stuff that's happening.
Well, my vague theory is that, like, for whatever reason, the Emperor attempted to wipe out demons, or like this whatever tribe of demons or whatever. But I don't know. While we were watching it, Tipsy said that the monster was like a Metroid thing, and it was very similar to the recent Metroid thing. But I think too, just that whole environment was really like perfectly mysterious. Like the weird environmental storytelling with like them having all those like rock statues everywhere, like that was all really interesting.
Yeah, it's like with the Palismans, where sometimes the lore in the Owl House is kind of bland, like the Emperor stuff. That I haven't seen anything really gripping about that yet. But sometimes, like with the Palismans, it really grips me. And this is one of those moments where I really want to find out more about the demons and about King and his father. There's a lot of mystery going on, and a lot of things we can theorize about. Like if he's the Demon King's son, is it the Demon King or is it the Demon Guardian? Who knows? And even Lilith says we might not know the full history, for example. So a lot of intrigue in this episode that we don't get too often with the Owl House. So I really did appreciate it for that.
Yeah, because I just found it very cool, the whole thing, like, because that monster like was fixing those little rock structures a few times, right? And like King himself was like I think there's more to it than just like when King was at home, he was building things out of toys, and like those were things worshiping him. But I think there's like some other purpose for those. Like they're not people, unless they were people turned to stone or something, I guess. But like why would they have this instinct to like build things like that? I think that's really cool.
That's a very good point. I hadn't considered that.
It's like some weird like tradition thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe do you think those little rock structures are like you're supposed to cast a spell on them and then they become those monsters, or they'll just grow into them over time anyway, maybe? Because they did look like them. They had that weird head shape.
And speaking of that head shape, I think Tulip, you specifically mentioned this at some point like last season, but there was a background character at Hexside that has a head shape just like that. She has like one eye. You thought she was cool, right? I remember you.
Yeah,
I don't know how the heck I'm supposed to find
the head shape the same as that?
It was like a moon type shape, so I'm sure this head is definitely more of like a boomerang type of thing. But
yeah,
like,
I was just gonna say, like, I was thinking moon and boomerang are not the same exact shape.
But it reminded me of that. I don't know if there's some sort of connection there or what, but I think the action here was good, and I'm also pleasantly surprised and glad that they're keeping Hooty and Lilith as like a dynamic, and that wasn't just like a one-off thing for that episode. Like that's just their thing now, and it's very funny.
Also, portable Hooty exists.
Yeah, that was good too. just a lot of questions. That's the most questionable lore aspect of this episode, is what the heck is going on with Hooty? How is he able to just detach himself?
I was wondering if when that happened, maybe the house itself would then like lose some kind of magic ability, or like I don't know. they didn't go into that because then Ida just immediately left and followed them to the island. But
Lou's retching like 3 times.
mm,
It's funny.
because like, Hooty's the house demon. Like, is there anything? I was wondering maybe if. Oh, well, Ida actually had just gotten out of the shower. I think that was the plot reason why she wasn't in the room at the beginning of the episode. But I was thinking, what if she tried to turn on the shower and the water didn't work because it's magic and Hooty is gone now, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly the sort of stuff we need to find out immediately. News was trying to figure out what the glyphs meant. Like, she had, because I pointed out at the start of the episode, in the bottom left corner, she was trying to figure out what command the light glyph meant and how it would interact with the other glyphs. Did we see the glyphs she used to write the invisibility spell, or did they just not bother showing us that?
I didn't notice it if they did.
Yeah.
What's your guess? Like, obviously light makes sense because that's like a visibility thing, but like, what would you combine that with out of the other options?
I'd say you can just write light 3 times, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But... Probably maybe something like that.
I don't like that. That's boring.
I mean, light, ice, or light, light. But light would certainly be the prominent one.
Yeah, I don't know. But it is good, though. Again, I like that this episode starts right where the other one like left. Like where the ball has been. It's only 3 episodes so far, but the ball has been rolling, and like we haven't struck like some sort of episode that has felt unnecessary. But I mean, again, we're only 3 in, I guess.
Yeah, and like at the very beginning of the episode, she was working with glyphs, and I thought, wait, are we gonna like learn more about glyphs in this episode? I thought it was going to be a king episode. And then we didn't really accept that the invisibility spell exists now, and that's for sure going to continue to get used by the characters. Because it's such a specific, it only works as long as you hold your breath. It's good.
Yeah, it's got a massive weakness, so it's the sort of thing where you literally hold your breath as you sneak into the enemy base, and like they have a portal that spies on the Emperor. Oh right, that. I forgot about that because they still haven't told us whether the Emperor was spying on Luz or us.
I was just about to bring that up. Maybe next episode we'll start right off the bat with them bringing that spell up.
Like, I thought maybe you were going to say next episode we'll start right off the bat with, like looking for King Dad.
I doubt that.
Probably not that. I don't know.
They'll save that for season finale, of course.
They'll save that for another episode, a few down the line, like how they introduced the Bat Queen, and then she was like a big lore thing later, you know.
Yeah.
King was trying to build something, and I do think it might have been people. He tried to build like the little thing that was his mom. He tried to build more of those. Maybe his dad is really good at building things, or I don't know, something like
because
that.
also they said like these these ruins are hundreds of years old or whatever when Lilith was like looking at the drawings on the walls, and that definitely predates the Emperor, who's only 50 years old. So I don't know. It could be. This could be something interesting there. I guess that could be a reason why Lilith doesn't know the history, because all the history she learned was Emperor history, probably.
Oh, that would make sense, because if it's an empire, the Emperor might have just the Emperor told them that demons were never united until Baelus's rule. That is totally propaganda to erase the hierarchy that the demons had before, and that the Emperor completely annihilated. So.
Also, demons aren't united under the Emperor's rule now, are they? They have, like, demon hunters and stuff.
Well, I mean, there's lots of demons under the Emperor. Like, lots of students at Hexside who are demons.
But those are witches, as we determined last episode.
I mean, I think we just haven't had clarification, so we don't really know. We're thinking too much.
So something like that. But yeah, we have But yeah, I think it's definitely propaganda.
Yeah, this episode did definitely do a good job of giving us lore while also having a plot and making the lore feel like it was a good like spoonful. Like I want to see more, but I don't have to see more right away because this gave me a lot to think about. It wasn't like a super brief like they explained King's backstory for no reason type of thing, and then we're just like, oh okay. Like this felt like a very substantial episode.
It's certainly going to be important down the line, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, I literally forgot until right now that we have to come up with a rating for that.
I don't know. I don't think I can because I feel like on a completely different scale to the previous episode. I did like, before we go into that, I did like some of the. I didn't like all of the banter moments. Like Luz being the straight man is never interesting to me, but unless it's with Ida and Lilith, then it's kind of funny. But I did like some of the family banter in this episode, like when Luz and King were being friendly with each other in the middle of it. It was sweet.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So do we want to rate it? Or do you guys genuinely don't have things in mind?
I mean, I think we have to. I don't think we can get away with not doing it.
Yeah, because
I think our fans will be disappointed.
just the number of people watching this video are just going to completely rage against us if we don't give the episode a rating.
Man,
Well, I
don't know, 'cause
would.
you-
No, you go
Yeah.
to it. You go to it.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That's what I was just gonna say. Like the episode had definitely cool lore stuff, and we've been talking about that this whole time. But then the other contents of this episode. Now I kind of felt like it was a little. Like I felt like it was long while I was watching it, which isn't a good sign because that means I'm like bored by it.
Yeah, I kind of did too, but I was glad that it was long though, because like I was worried they would end it before giving us like a good lore hook, and they didn't. Like they got to King's dad realization and stuff. Like if they ended the episode before that, I would have been bothered.
Yeah, and that they spent a lot of time on the emotional King stuff, which
Yeah.
definitely, if any episode warrants it, it's this one because it's all about his, backstory and his whole like worldview being shattered about like who he thinks he is.
Yeah, and I'm sure that stuff works for other people too. Like I'm sure maybe people who are able to get much more invested in the show than us probably are totally okay with King being that way. And like it's just kind of our weird opinion.
His reaction was really
Not weird because it's our us as a whole all agree on that opinion. So like it's just our thought on that.
Yeah, because his reaction was really off-putting to me. Because if you look at The More You Know, The More You Know, BMO's entire response in that episode is, I mean, it can be incredibly serious and dramatic, but BMO is still BMO, still a child and trying to process a very difficult world. King here King could have had a childish reaction, and it could have been extremely emotional as a childish reaction, but no, they decided to have him decide he's going crazy, and it's like in an adult way, and it's like, no, that's not fun, and that's not sympathetic, because it just kind of makes King
Well, no, I think this episode does sort of focus on making King act like a child. Like it had baby King, but then even modern day King is like, has these delusional fantasies sort of thing. And then breaks down when it turns out not to be true. Like that's a childlike thing to do.
Yeah, but it's just the way he spoke about it. His actual reaction didn't seem like one a child would have in any circumstance. Like someone who was aware that he seemed to be far too self-aware of how stupid the whole thing was, rather than like a massive U-turn, which seemed a bit silly for him to be that intelligent when he'd been believing that delusion his whole life. It is something off-putting to me.
But that's what King is always like, though. Yeah. Okay. So I feel bad about this because the lore is really cool, and I really love those guardian things. Jean-Luc, as he was called, as King named it at the end. But besides all the lore, I don't think I would probably want to go back to rewatch this episode. So I'm feeling like 6 out of 10.
Whoa. Woof.
I mean, Our House is about 6.5 as a as a cartoon. So I would say it's a 6.5 episode.
Woof. I don't know. This is tough because the lore is so cool. The dynamics were fun and cute, particularly Hooty. Mostly, I felt. And King was again this is the episode where it's it's okay for King to have a reaction like that, but I do agree still that because what my disconnect here is like it's kind of weird to me that he was so invested in this delusion that he was a king because like Ida said he was king once and like then what he came up with this whole backstory from vague memories like I think like
that makes sense to me.
I don't know should he be crying over it or should he be like, oh, I finally understand, you know? I don't really know what reaction would make more sense. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about it more. We just watched it freaking 20 minutes ago. But I mean, I would rewatch this one though. Tulip said she wouldn't go back to this one, but I would. I think one thing too, this is a very stupid thing to say, but I do think that they could have made John Luke scarier, and I feel like they missed a lot of opportunities to frame it in cooler ways and stuff, which is a weird thing to say, but I don't know.
I was wondering if there was going to be corpses on the ceiling when Luz looked up. I was like, oh my god, this is a horror movie moment, and there's going to be dead bodies all over the ceiling, and they're going to go, holy crap, Our House just did something terrifying. But no, it didn't happen. I
mean, that's something the show would do.
Yeah, it would be out of the ordinary.
I would not be surprised to see it. Yeah,
I just feel like even like as cool as that monster was, like that's probably my favorite monster design and concept from the whole series so far, honestly.
But I
think they could have done more with the action to make it more interesting. Because like I'm thinking back to the library episode with that creepy bunny thing. Like I feel like that bunny thing was kind of like a joke to an extent, but like the ways that they framed that and the way the action played out was more exciting there. And I feel like they missed an opportunity a little bit to make the action here as exciting as that, when it definitely should have been because of how freaking cool all the setting was and the monster was and all that stuff. But also maybe that's just me setting weird expectations because I've seen so much horror-esque, pseudo-horror stuff in animation and whatnot. But I don't know. I rated episode 1 a 7, and I think this was better than episode 1.
Yeah. It's difficult because there's some parts of this episode that are outstanding, like definitely better than the previous few episodes, and probably some of the best bits in the show.
But Amity wasn't in it. Amity wasn't in it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like my opinion might change on this with hindsight, but yeah, for now I'm feeling 6.
I'm gonna say this is 8.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. What was the title of this one? I forgot.
You know what? I didn't even... Oh, it's something past. Some Echoes of the Past.
It's kind of generic. It wasn't anything to do with echoes in this episode. They could have... if there was, then I think that would have been a good title, but then...
There's going to be, like, a really stupid episode next week, and it's going to be, like, Luz and Willow have to bully Principal Blum to not get expelled, and I'm going to end up giving the episode 10 out of 10 or something. I can feel it in my bones.
No, next week we'll have the they shrink down to small size and have to go inside and fight a sickness in somebody episode.
We already had that episode, didn't we?
They did shrink already. You're right.
But not a go inside someone's body episode.
They'll go inside Ida's body
to fight the owl virus.
They'll learn about the bile sac. There'll be a bile sac lore episode.
That would actually be pretty sick.
or Tulip's a dinner party episode might happen too. We'll see about that.
I don't know if that prediction is valid anymore since last week sort of covered.
They
a
did
little bit of
release
that.
like the plot synopsis for the entire season. That we were not going to look at that, so we
No, of course
we
not.
don't know. We don't know what's coming.
We're gonna have people commenting in the comments. OMG, dinner party episode in 3 weeks.
Listen, I'll lose my mind if there's actually a dinner party episode.
And also now you're gonna have to include like that screenshot in the video.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess for context, Tulip had a dream about an episode that seemed like a very realistic.
no,
episode.
that one wasn't a dream. I've had dream episode synopsis before.
That one wasn't.
But
a
that
dream?
one was just no. That the Owl House one was just one that I thought like, yeah, this could happen.
Okay. Then we have a headcanon episode that will become real.
Yes, exactly. Shall we stop?
Okay.
Yeah, we're done.
Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to know when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, and super special thanks to my Patreon supporters. Support me on Patreon and you'll be able to submit video topics, see exclusive behind the scenes content, and help me keep this channel going. Also follow me on Twitter and TikTok for special updates.